if I said it right.
Good evening.
Good evening. If you could give us your name and address, please?
My name's Dr. Lori Kerner, 728 Milligan Lane, West Islip.
And you're here just on the driveway side yard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions from the board at this time?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who would like to be heard in this matter? Okay, I'll take a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make the motion that we grant the application.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Application's granted.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
Application number 440-25, Joseph and Francine Massey. Permission to leave shed having side yard of 1.7 feet instead of required 2 feet, and patio having side yard of 0.2 feet instead of required 4 feet. Residence AA District, northeast corner of Connecticut Avenue and Atlantic Street, Central Islip.
Name's Joe Massey, 963 Connecticut Avenue, Central Islip.
Okay, and you're here on the shed side yard and the patio side yard?
Yes.
Okay, any questions from the board at this time?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who would like to be heard in this matter? Okay, I'll take a motion, please.
Motion to grant the application.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Application's granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Application number 441-25, Paul and Francine Sharkey. Permission to leave pool patio having side yard of 4.5 feet instead of required 6 feet, and barbecue patio area having side yard of 2.1 feet instead of required 4 feet. Residence A District, 278 Cluster, west side of Carlisle Lane, 181 feet west of Suffolk Lane, East Islip.
Hello, Fran Sharkey, 40 Carlisle Lane, East Islip.
And you're here on the pool patio and the barbecue patio?
Yes.
Okay, any questions from the board?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who would like to be heard in this matter? Take a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to grant the application.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, application's granted.
Thank you.
Application number 442-25, Scott and Dana Hignell. Permission to leave pool patio having rear yard of 4.4 feet instead of required 6 feet, retaining wall on-side property line not having required setback of 3.4 feet, on-side property line and having rear yard of 3.4 feet instead of required 4 feet each, and shed having side yard of 0.8 feet instead of required 2 feet. Residence A District, north side of Matthews Road, 255 feet east of Windmill Road, Oakdale.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Charles J. Brudy, architect, 30 Bethesda Lane, Sayville, New York, representing the property owners. As stated in the call, property owners seek to have permission to leave the pool patio with a rear yard of 4.4 feet instead of the required 6 feet, retaining wall on side property line having a rear yard of 3.4 feet instead of the required 4 feet, and a shed with a side yard of 0.8 feet instead of the required 2 feet in a Residence A district.
Okay, thank you. Planning, any comments on this?
No, no comment.
Any questions from the board?
No questions.
Is there anyone else who would like to be heard in this matter? Okay, I'll have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to grant the application.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, application's granted.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Application number 443-25, the Happer 2020 Irrevocable Family Trust. To renew permit for two-family, family use only. Residence AA District, east side of Walnut Avenue, 200 feet north of Kathy Lane, Bohemia.
How you doing? Brad Happer, 735 Walnut Avenue, Bohemia.
Good evening, Mr. Happy. You're here on the two-family, family use only renewal?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone else on this application?
I am.
My wife.
No, all right.
Kathleen.
Anyone else besides the two of you?
I hope not.
I just want to let you know, we did
No,
get a
we don't
letter.
know about.
We did receive a letter of opposition.
Yes.
Can you just let us know who's in their house now?
Nobody's in there now.
Nobody's in there.
Okay, so the apartment's vacant for now, and then?
Yes, it's
Okay.
been vacant for over 2 years, and we just have it there. My wife had surgery on her knee, and
Okay.
I had a
And you
car
realize
accident.
that it's limited to family members?
It's always, yeah, well.
That's all it's for. Just in case, that's all it's for.
Any questions from the board?
Question? No questions.
Planning, any comments? No comment. Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? Take a motion, please.
Make a motion that we approve the application for a period of 3 years.
All in favor?
Thank you,
Application's
guys.
granted for 3 years.
Have a good night.
Have a nice afternoon.
Application number 444-25, Joseph and Lauren in Calcaterra.
No.
Permission to leave driveway and patio on side and rear property lines not having required setback of 4 feet each. Residence B District, south side of Spruce Street, 475 feet west of Ferndale Boulevard, Islip.
Joseph Calcaterra, 36 Spruce Street.
Give him, lift the microphone up. And you're here on the driveway and patio property lines?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the board?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? Okay, I'll take a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Application's granted.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Application number 445-25, Dennis and Linda Quinn, permission to leave shed having side yard of 0.4 feet instead of required 2 feet. Residence A District, north side of Wexford Drive, 1,104.55 feet east of Chatham Drive, Oakdale.
Hi, Dennis Quinn, 59 Wexford Drive, Oakdale, New York.
Good evening, Mr. Quinn, you're here on the shed? Okay, any questions from the board?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? Have a motion, please?
Oakdale,
Oakdale?
I'll make a motion we grant the application.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Application's granted.
Thank you for your time.
Application number 446-25, Brandon Melendez Ortiz and Jordan Ortiz, permission to use dwelling for two-family, family use only pursuant to Islip Town Code Section 68-419.1, having 2 front doors instead of 1 visible front door. Residence AA District, north side of Waterford Road, 365.61 feet west of Oakwood Road, Oakdale.
Dana Bush, 41 Whittier Avenue, Medford, New York, 11763. Hello, everybody. Just a little backstory. We are going for a proposed addition. We're attaching a 2-car garage, and then behind the garage, we're going to do a mother-daughter. It's going to be 2 small bedrooms, a eat-in kitchen, and a bathroom. There are 4 two-family homes right on Oakdale Bohemia Road. It's 123 to 137, and I have all the pictures to show you guys. It's walking distance.
You don't need any variances for the new addition?
No, we meet all the setbacks. The property is very large, so we made sure. And we also moved the second front door, so we put it to the side, so it wouldn't have to. No, it's fine. Whatever questions you've got, throw them at me. But, so yes, we moved the second front door, so it's onto the side now, so there won't be any 2 visible doors. Yes. Yes, so yeah. No, I don't need any variances. So I'm just here asking for permission to have a 2-family. And I also have, the mother-in-law is moving in, and she would also like to speak if. Yes. Provided all the deeds, doctor's notes, everything you needed. Okay.
So my name is Ian Lewis. I live at 274 Oakwood Road. I have 200 feet of property that borders the said property here on their eastern boundary. And we're not here to fight it. I'm just here for a couple of questions to ask to satisfy me. One was the 2 front doors, which is great, you know, for the look in the neighborhood. 2, the section of the ordinance that they're getting this under. So it's family only, that's correct? Okay, so every 3 years that has to be renewed, am I right or wrong? Okay. That's right so far? Well, that's a good thing. So, yeah, that's one of the things. Is there any way, just say something happens down the road, everybody's gone, this can ever be used as an absentee landlord property? What would be our recourse to have something like that happen? I'm not saying that's their intent. I'm just saying. And how does that work out when that happens? So say they had like some type of problem, they had to leave, someone else, code enforcement, but they could move in with their family and do the same exact thing, which wouldn't be that bad, correct? Okay, okay. Yeah, the only problem that I really had with this is I went over to get some information, and the contractor was already putting in a foundation. He was digging for footings. So it appeared, and he was trying to tell me he had the permit, so I felt I couldn't get information from him. For the structure, right, but then he was getting ahead of himself because he's a little bit away at the Board of Health, so I felt like I didn't know who was going to give me the correct information. So having said what they're trying to do, I think it's an addition to the neighborhood. I think it's going to be nice. Our concern was the two-family designation, and if it's family only, of course, you would understand that if you live next door. So now I'm getting the correct information, and this is starting to come down to just a nice family who wants to live in the neighborhood. Well, that's why I'm here, you know. I couldn't get it out there. So you're aware that there are covenants and restrictions from the Board of Health on this, so it's going to be a bit of a problem for them? How many bedrooms is it total? Right, but how many, in the plan, how many bedrooms is it? You can't tell me? Oh, you don't have the building? No, I'm just asking you. Oh, okay. All right, it's no problem. Right. Yeah. Well, that's another fight I don't wish on anybody at the Board of Health. I've been through it a couple times. All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And second from the end, I heard in the parking lot, you're not that good of a driver. You cut some people off out there.
How you doing? Our family lives around the block. 250 Oakwood Road. Last name is Gerald. Gerald, Gerold. First name is James. Okay. One of the things, we bought a piece of property 52 years ago. Built a house, blah, blah, blah. And it just seems that, excuse me, it just seems that Oakdale, which we moved to, is no longer, it's with the two-family houses, a lot of the structure that's been built on the backside of Sunrise Highway, it's endless. And I happen to build for a living. I know the idea. I know how it works out. What I would ask is that this is, say, the third or fourth two-family house that's been allowed. When does it stop? And does our codes, which would, with, say, AAA, for example, when does that get, cut down so that now anybody that has an acre of property, because there's another one or two parcels right on the block that have an acre. So it seems to me that it'd be, a lot of houses are rolled over. In other words, they come in, pardon me? This house? Well, are you including the lot next door? Well, so it's not an acre of property? Pardon me? No, it has to be. They just said it's 1.5 acres there. So that wouldn't be a double A, that would be a triple.
It's an oversized double A.
It's an oversized lot. And at one time, there was some environmental issues there that were covenants on one of the lots would be on the east side of that. That's it, all right. Is a two-door going to go through? Okay, that's out, all right. What about the septic system? That has to go to the Board of Health. Okay, all right. What about operating a small business out of there? Okay, all right, well, I had a whole thing here, which, okay, all right, thank you very much.
Can I say something about the septic? Can I let them know that we're doing it?
Application number 447-25, Kenneth and Sandra Plate, permission to use dwelling for two-family, family use only, pursuant to Islip Town Code, Section 68-419.1. Residence AA District, 278 Cluster, southeast corner of Vincent Street and Locust Avenue, Bohemia.
Denise Trifaro, DTT Design, 1165 Broadway Avenue, Holbrook, New York. I'm here representing the Plates. They are moving an elderly parent into the house. The apartment is in an existing portion of the house. It was an addition that was CO'd back in 2014. So that it's a very easy conversion. The door is already on the side. They're just going to put a door between their existing house and this, what was an addition in 2014, and put a set of kitchen cabinets in, and it's done.
Okay, any questions from the board at this time?
No questions.
Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? Okay, I'll take a motion, please.
Make the motion, we approve the application for a period of 3 years.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Application is granted for a period of 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Application number 448-25, Manuel Barbecho Sinchi and Jessica Barbecho Maza and Wilson Garces Simbana. Permission to leave driveway having side yard of 1 foot instead of required 4 feet. Residence B District, east side of Wilson Boulevard, 1,224.48 feet south of Kelly Avenue, Central Islip.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting Services with offices at 231 Islip Avenue, Islip, New York. We are here tonight to maintain a driveway that has a side yard of 1 foot instead of the required 4 feet. And it looks like that driveway was installed about over 15 years ago.
Okay, any questions from the board at this time? Planning, any comments?
No comment.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? All right, take a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to grant the application.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application is granted.
Application number 449-25, 204 Front Realty Corp. Permission to erect second-story deck, 12 by 12, leaving rear yard of 14.7 feet instead of required 25 feet. Residence B District, southwest corner of Front Avenue and Newman Street, Brentwood.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting Services with offices at 231 Islip Avenue, Islip, New York. We are here for permission to erect a second-story deck that would leave a rear yard of 14.7 feet instead of the required 25 feet. This house was placed on like a catty corner of the property, making it difficult to conform to the rear yard setback. There was one application on this property itself previously before the board, ZBA number 107-94, that did grant a 2-story rear yard setback of 17 feet. When you're looking at the second-story deck itself, because of the way the house is situated, a portion of the deck is actually the side yard, which it does meet and is not requiring a variance at 14.2, which is less than this. But this part of the deck, just at that corner, is 14.7. But if you look at it in line with the 17-foot that was granted, it's almost directly in line with it. It's just that because of the catty corner, this specific portion of the deck is requiring this rear yard setback. Just on this property itself, a rear yard of 17 feet was granted for a 2-story addition. I don't think this sets a precedent for this property or any other property because of the unique nature of the house itself. It doesn't. What it does is no, I think what happens is it's more of a side yard versus a rear yard. And if it were the side yard, it would comply with the setback and it wouldn't need a variance at all, which is what happens on the other side of the same exact deck that we're looking at. It is considered their side yard, and it has 14.2, where this point has 14.7, and that one complies because it's on the side. No, I think it's because of the layout of the house, this is the way it is. And if you look at the house that it most directly affects, it's in their side yard. So in essence, it complies with what would be the side yard setback.
It's a difficult thing. I don't think the argument's entirely without merit, at least from an impact standpoint. So in both cases, the point she's trying to make, it's 14 feet approximately to either side. A 14-foot side yard would be conforming. Both of the impacted neighbors, this is in effect their side yard because of the way this is oriented. So it does come across as strange that the neighbor to the north, this is considered a conforming setback, whereas the neighbor to the west, it's not conforming, even though in terms of practical impact based on the way these are laid out, they're identical situations.
I understand that. My question then is, are we going to create a precedent then if you have a house like that?
If the board did see fit to grant it, I would say that it should definitely be predicated on the fact that this is an angled house and based on the reasoning that I just gave. Because we don't want to be giving 14-foot rear yards necessarily.
My only concern is what's going to happen is in 6 months from now, someone will say, oh, you granted 14.7, and the whole issue of the angle of the house is never going to come up. We're going to, oh, you granted.
Only if it's distinguished in the decision would I support that.
Okay. As long as we don't create bad laws.
Oh, I'd agree with you on that.
Learn about that in Boston. Bad law is not good law.
Does anyone else would like to be heard in this matter?
I'll make a motion that we, the application, very specific, particular angle of this house, creates a side yard, another side yard, and we need to do this parcel.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Application number 450-25, Maria del Carmen Intriago Vargas, Zemina Intriago, and Brandon Intriago. Permission to leave second-story deck, 15.9 by 15.9, having side yard of 11 feet instead of required 14 feet. Accessory structure, 11.2 by 43.5, having side yard of 1.2 feet instead of required 4 feet. Shed on side property line, not having required setback of 2 feet. Patios having side yard of 2.5 feet and 3 feet instead of required 4 feet each. And driveway on side property line, not having required setback of 4 feet. Residence A District, east side of Louis Kossuth Avenue, 234.8 feet south of 4th Street, Ronkonkoma.
Yes, hi, how are you? My name is Jimena Intriago, and the address is 1989 Louis Kossuth Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York, 11779.
Thank you. You understand what you're here to?
Yes, we need legalize all these things because when we bought the house, they already existing. So, and then just we remove something and we do again because it's really old. And that's it, and we don't know if we have any problem with that, we have to do something else.
Planning any comments on this?
Yeah, so regarding the accessory structure, I didn't have the time to confirm this with zoning, unfortunately, today, but I believe the dimensions are not including the roof over, and I believe they should be under normal circumstances.
How does that affect?
It would, if it did count, and again, I believe it does, certainly roof overs attached to sheds and stuff like that in the past have counted. It would push it over 500 square feet, which would make it a 10-foot setback. That's a bit of complication here, if that's true, and I can't confirm one way or the other how zoning would look at it.
Can I suggest that we adjourn this so we can get an accurate reading all the way around, so we're fair to the code, the applicant, and everybody else? Does that make sense, Mr. Chairman?
It looks to me like the roof is such that it could be cut back if that were the case.
Probably, yeah, and that would certainly help their case. If the roof
So-
over were just removed, it would be, yeah.
He's talking about the roof that comes out the front of your accessory structure. And because it comes out further than 2 feet, what Nick thinks is that it probably counts in gross floor area. So if that were the case, then it would be a more significant variance based on the size. It would tip over 500 square feet. I would think that if that were the case, you would be able to change the shape of the roof just a little bit to keep it under 500 square feet. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, yeah,
I think so too.
okay. And then, are we going to receive the letter with the instruction?
Hold on.
Oh, okay, okay.
How about the balance of the application?
I do not believe there was anything else I was concerned about.
The shed, having the shed 1 foot, 1.1 feet behind the front line of the dwelling?
Where is, am I missing that?
Shed having a side yard of 0.45 feet instead of required 2, and having 1.1 feet behind front line of dwelling instead of required 20 feet.
Oh, that's the next one. This is this one. We're here.
Yeah, you're on the roll.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Am I blind or?
No, I'm on the wrong application.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to be heard in this matter? No, all right. Take a motion then.
No, but we're just gonna note that we're only granting it if the side yard setback requirement is 4 feet. Because Nick was saying if it could possibly be that it requires 10.
Okay. All right, I would make a motion that we approve the application contingent upon the side yard requiring 4 feet, not in fact 6 feet.
Okay.
Of the accessory structure,
10, rather than 10,
Yeah,
right?
of
On
the
the si- on
accessory
the accessory structure.
on the accessory structure.
And grant the remainder?
Grant the remainder of the application.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So application's granted as amended.
Thank you, thank you.
Application number 451-25. Antonio and Christine Mazurko. Permission to leave above-ground pool having rear yard of 4.45 feet instead of required 10 feet. Pool patio having rear yard of 2.2 feet instead of required 6 feet. Retaining wall, 2.3 feet in height, having side yard of 0.1 feet and rear yard of 2.25 feet instead of required 4 feet each. Patio having side yard of 0.1 feet instead of required 4 feet. Rear yard landscaping of 38% instead of required 40%. Shed having side yard of 0.5 feet instead of required 2 feet and having 1.1 feet behind the front line of the dwelling instead of required 20. Walkway having front yard occupancy of 14.3% instead of permitted 12%. And driveway having front yard occupancy of 50% instead of permitted 40%. Residence B District, west side of Manor Lane, 375 feet south of Runyon Street, Bay Shore.
Christine Mazurko, 1032 Manor Lane, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Planning, any comments on this 1.1 feet for the shed?
Nothing that would help the applicant.
No.
So there is a lot here. Most of it is not too substantial, thankfully. The things that stand out are, as you said, the front line of the dwelling for the shed. The front yard occupancy is a bit higher than would normally be given, and the above-ground pool is a bit of a weird one. It's closer than what would normally be given, but it's also difficult for them to put it in much more of a conforming location. They don't have a lot of space in their rear yard.
What have we been doing with front yard occupancy?
Typically 45 unless it's a particularly busy road, like one with a median or, which I don't know, maybe this would qualify. I'm not as familiar with this kind of road. Manor Lane.
Manor Lane.
It does. That's typically how it's been though, yes. 45%, sometimes the board will go up to 50 depending on traffic in the area, in order to allow for sort of more of a ability to turn around in their own driveway without having to back out.
Is that how they get out? You have to back out of the driveway?
Yes.
Is Manor Lane a busy lane?
Yes, it is.
Very busy?
More so than a side street. It's a double yellow, so yes, there is a lot of traffic down there. And we did widen the driveway because the neighbors, the triangle view had to be adjusted. He had to take all his bushes out, but we've had a hard time getting him to do that, so we did the driveway.
Nick, could you just zoom out a little bit so we can get perspective on which part of Manor Lane this is?
Sure.
North of Orinoco, south of Sunrise Highway.
That is really zoomed out.
Wait, I see a blade of grass. One blade of grass.
Do you want me to be more zoomed in? What are we trying to get here?
I think I have 3 blades.
Way up here. That's way up there. Good.
Mhm. Yeah, we've had incidents where cars have actually been hit. There's a lot of accidents on that road. Yeah. Yeah. No. My husband works for the town of Hempstead, so he does have, his work truck from time to time with equipment. But other than that, no.
I believe what she was referring to, the neighbor had bushes, and the expansion of the driveway, it kind of awkwardly made those things on the neighbor's property a site obstruction. I believe that's what she's referring to. I'm not familiar with the specifics on it. I don't think there's any site obstruction on this property that's being called out.
I'm sorry? We have to move the shed? Yeah, where? That's actually, the shed is actually blocking that neighbor's door of his house because he thinks he's crazy. I'm sorry to say that, but. Okay. Okay. So what do I have to? From the front line of my house, 10 feet. It's got to go back. 4 feet, okay. Now, there's two sheds there, so the second one further into the yard has 4 feet, okay. 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 From the front of the house, okay. Okay. So I'll be notified? Thank you, sir.
Make sure we're good on time. We are, right? 6:42. Application number 452-25, 1760 Manatuck Properties LLC. Permission to leave detached garage 11.1 by 21.6 on rear property line not having required setback of 4 feet. Driveway having side yard of 1.5 feet and on-side property line not having required setback of 4 feet each. And front yard occupancy of 83% instead of permitted 40%. And to leave 2 4-foot fences in driveway site distance triangles exceeding permitted height of 3 feet. Residence B District, west side of Manatuck Boulevard, 139.1 feet south of Pioneer Drive, Bay Shore.
Good evening. My name is Roxana Escobar. I'm the architect for the project. She's the property owner. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I'm the architect for the project, Roxana Escobar, and she's the property owner. She recently sold the property, so it's no longer her property. The current owner, it just happened to work that way that she's a handicapped teenager, so she's in the use of a wheelchair. So that's why we were trying to help and see if we can maintain as much hard surface as we possibly could. So on the first one, the detached garage, but it was our last application because she received a stop work order, so we had to. Well, that is correct. Yes, it was just still an open. No, not of this, because the application, when it was submitted, it was filed under her LLC. Okay. Oh, I understand that now. That makes a lot of sense. Just keep, okay. Quick, since it was filed under myself as the architect, I will be able just to carry on just with the current owner, correct? Okay, because at this point, yes, the property. Que le preguntó que si usted era la dueña. She's the member. She's the sole member. Yes.
Of record. So if you were, we might be in better shape here. But,
Okay.
Okay, so
They should adjourn it anyway, I'm looking at it.
So why don't
Because-
you adjourn it and as a get authorization, signed document, and maybe it should be notarized, I don't know.
well, there's an affidavit in there that asks if there's any interested
Okay.
parties.
We'll reschedule it.
Okay, just a quick question, just for my own. How likely is it for it to be approved?
We can't give advice.
You wouldn't even, okay.
Because we'd be guessing.
Because then I would just resubmit.
How likely is it going to rain September 19th?
Bill, we can talk
September
precedent. I don't know if there's any precedent for 83%.
Right. No, that's fair.
We could, yes,
Right.
Our vice
We could-
chairman just gave pearls of wisdom. There's no precedent for 83%. Not even
Yeah.
close.
I know, but it's a little.
can't-
Oh, yeah.
Right. We're just
Okay,
giving you a little
understood.
general
Appreciate
information.
your
Is there
time.
anyone else who'd like to be heard in this application before it's adjourned? No. Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Adjourn to an open date, right?
Adjourn to.
I guess so, because there's nobody here to agree on,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully,
Nice job, Chris. I know.
application number 419-25, adjourned from July 22nd, 2025. Vincent and Nicole Hartman, permission to erect 2-story and 1-story additions, roofed-over second-story deck, and roofed-over patio, leaving side yard of 18.17 feet instead of required 25 feet, total side yards of 54.27 feet instead of required 60 feet, and to use dwelling for two-family, family use only pursuant to Islip Town Code, Section 68-419.1. Residence AAA District, north side of Atlantic Place, 512.68 feet east of Lincoln Boulevard, Hauppauge.
Good evening, board members. Mr. Chairman, my name is Angel Aponte, residing at 1330 Washington Avenue, Bayshore, New York, here as an agent for the owner.
I'm Vincent Hartman, 277 Atlantic Place in Hopog.
I'm Susan Hartman, 277 Atlantic Place in Hopog.
We're here to ask for a variance for a proposed addition to the rear left of the property. Last time we were talking about the fact that there are various parts to this addition. I would like to go over them now. There is a 2-story, 64 square foot part of the addition that is 23.89 at its closest part to the left side property line. There is 397 square foot roofed over roof deck and first floor part of the addition. At its closest part, it's 21.71 feet from the left side property line. There is a first floor part of the addition with roof deck, no roof over. That is 375 square feet. At its closest part, it's 18.9. And then there is 84 square foot first floor roofed over patio. At its closest part, 18.17 feet from the side property line. We're also asking for family use, and we have submitted a letter from the doctor of Mrs. Susan Hartman about that, and we also have submitted 2 letters from the neighbors. I do not have a precedent, sir. I'm sorry.
We don't have anything.
That's kind of a big leap.
Yes, sir. $18.9 is the first floor with roof deck, no roof over. That's first floor addition, roof deck, and roof over.
The roof deck is in essence a second-story deck, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I thought the narrowest part was only the roof over the patio.
Correct, but it was a first floor roof over patio.
Right, and that's what brings it to 18 feet.
18.17, correct.
Right, so it's 21 where you have the roof deck on the one-story addition.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's 18.9, right? Right?
For a roof over a patio. That's the part that's 18 feet.
Right, but
Right. So
20
you're doing the math on the 18 feet with the roof over the patio, but.
Just to clarify further here, it's 18.17 to the ground level roof over patio. Then 18.9 is the second story deck, the part that's not roofed over though. This is what you're referring to as the roof deck. So
Correct.
they have the one-story addition, on top of it is a deck that you could walk on.
correct.
And then a bit further away at 21.7 is the roof over section of that deck.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the second story deck starts at 18.9 and then the roof over starts at 21.7.
Yes.
Okay. in the sense that this is a AAA property, there's not a lot of AAA properties that are really near it. So, like was pointed out, across the street is not really the same exact sort of situation. It looks like townhomes or something to me. I don't know the specifics on that, but there's not a lot of properties to really draw from, so there's not a lot of zoning board decisions in general here. In back of it's just a vacant lot, it looks like.
And then when they developed that vacant lot, the one previously left, going to come and say, well, you granted that lot, so now you have to give us.
I don't know if this is like a recharge basin or something. No, it's privately owned.
Anyone else like to be heard in this application?
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Application number 453-25, Stephen Somers, permission to erect second-story addition 15.67 by 28.22, leaving side yards of 10.9 feet and 10.24 feet instead of required 18 feet each, and total side yards of 21.14 feet instead of required 36 feet. Roofed over porch 7.9 by 17.55, leaving side yard of 10.94 feet instead of required 18 feet, and to install egress window, leaving side yard of 7.4 feet instead of required 18 feet. Business 1 District, west side of Smith Street, 242.69 feet south of Hidding Street, Sayville.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Ashley Lowe Canese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. I am here this evening on behalf of our clients, Stephen and Sarah Summers, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property located at 76 Smith Street in Sayville. We filed an application with the building department for a second-story addition with basement and porch. We are requesting permission to construct a second-floor addition, which is 15.67 feet by 28.22 feet with deficient side yard setbacks. The proposed side yard setbacks are 10.9 feet and 10.24 feet instead of the required side yard setback in a Business 1 zone, which is 18 feet. We are requesting relief of 7.1 feet and 7.76 feet respectively. The one-story side entrance porch, which has the dimensions of 79 feet by 17.55 feet or 142 square feet, also has a side yard setback of 10.94 feet where 18 feet is required, for which we are requesting relief of 7.06 feet. These deficient side yard setbacks also affect the combined side yard requirement as well. The required aggregate is 36 feet, and the proposed combined side yards of this property are 21.14 feet, for which we are requesting relief of 14.86 feet. As I previously mentioned, this zone is in a Business 1 district. As a result, this is why the requests for relief appear to be so high. The property is remarkably undersized for what is required. The minimum required lot size for this zone is 20,000 square feet, and this lot size is 9,032 square feet, which is less than half the size of what is required. Additionally, the lot width is 50 feet where 100 feet is required. In 2003, the BZA granted a special exception to allow the original dwelling under ZBA number 190-03 to remain as is. The existing side yard setback on the south side of the property is 11.8 feet, which is also deficient of the 18 feet that is required. The proposed porch and second-story addition are both to be built in line with what is currently existing on that side of the property. The property line is on a slant, which accounts for the difference in numbers between the side yard setbacks. Additionally, there was previously a request that went in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals under ZBA number 117-09 in 2009, which was very similar to our request tonight. It was also for a second-story addition and proposed porch, and while it was approved, the construction never took place. Sure. So we tried to stay in line with what was previously granted in the 2009 case. The request back then was for a similar, the setbacks are a touch different, but they're very similar to what was previously approved. So we tried not to go out of line from what that was.
I could corroborate that. There was a grant in '09 for a very similar two-story addition roof over porch with setbacks that are maybe 1 foot difference, 9 foot on one side, 12.3 on the other. This exact property.
I apologize. Yes.
Yeah.
In 2009 for this exact property. It just was never built. I'm sorry, I
Correct.
should have been more clear. Yes. I'm sorry, I should have been more clear, but I thought it was. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Application number 454-25, John and Anne Marie Healy Irrevocable Trust. Permission to erect one-story addition, 12.5 by 23.6, leaving rear yard of 20.2 feet instead of required 25 feet, and floor area ratio of 30% instead of permitted 25%. Residence A District, east side of Edgewater Avenue, 108.11 feet south of Middle Road, Bayport.
John Bracco, architect, 111 Railroad Avenue, Sayville, New York. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. John Bracco, architect, on behalf of the owner and applicant, Anne Marie Healy. We're here before you this evening in regards to two items requiring variances for a proposed one-story rear addition to the home. The first item is in regards to the floor area ratio. The proposed addition will leave the home with an FAR of 30% instead of the required 20%. And I know from being in front of this board many times in the past that the board has looked favorably on FAR requests at or below 30% FAR. The second item requiring a variance is the proposed rear yard setback of 20.2 feet where 25 feet is required. As you can see from the submitted site plan, there is currently a three-season room attached to the back of the house with a rear yard setback of 16.9 feet that has been there for 30 years but never obtained a permit or certificate of compliance. Mrs. Healy came in front of the zoning board last year proposing a one-story addition on the same footprint as the existing three-season room. That application was denied. The proposed one-story addition would bring the rear yard setback much closer to conformity. The proposed setback of 20.2 feet equates to a 19% relaxation of the required 25 feet, where the prior application was seeking a 33% relaxation. Another fact that I think is important to note is that this style home is what we call a front-to-back split, meaning the back half of the house has one story that is almost halfway below grade, and the other story is above grade. The proposed addition is to the story that is almost half below grade, meaning the peak of the roof of the proposed addition is only 8 feet 9 inches above grade level, making the addition hard to even see from the other side of the 6-foot-high fences abutting the rear and side neighbors' properties. Lastly, although this property is in an A zone, the property sizes on this street, including the subject parcel, are more in line with B zoning, with the lot area only being 7,600 square feet. And with the house currently meeting the required 40-foot front yard setback in the A zone, there is only 8 feet left to add on to the rear of the home to meet the required 25-foot rear yard setback, even though the existing home is only 27.6 feet deep. And I think, as we all know, 8 feet does not really give you a functional room. The room would serve the same purpose as the current room did for the last 30 years, which would be Anne Marie's sewing room. She is 70 years old, and she is not sure how much longer she will be able to navigate all the stairs that her split-level home has, and is trying to keep everything she needs on 1 or 2 levels instead of the current 4 levels. Therefore, based on the facts presented, we respectfully ask the board to grant this application, and if the board has any questions, I'd be more than happy to try and answer them for you.
If there's no questions, no comment.
Thank you very much.
Application number 455-25, Mark and April Miller. Permission to elevate dwelling, leaving front yard of 19.2 feet instead of required 25 feet. To reconstruct decking, leaving rear yard of 10.7 feet and side yards of 10 feet and 3.2 feet instead of required 15 feet each. And to leave shed having side yard of 2.7 feet instead of required 10 feet, all having floor area ratio of 34.2% instead of permitted 30%, and lot occupancy of 44.85% instead of permitted 35%. Residence BAA District, east side of Surfview Walk, 180 feet north of Central Walk, Seaview.
Good evening. Glenn Graham with Graham Associates of Brightwaters, New York, representing Mark and April Miller. Before we begin, I'd just like to withdraw that portion of the application for the setback variance for the shed, 2.7 instead of 10. That will be withdrawn. The shed will be put in a conforming location. That's correct. Secondly, I'd like to amend the deck side yard of 3.2 feet and ask for a setback of 9 feet. That was for a garbage bin that sticks out on the south side of the property. Correct. 9. What we would do is just bring that portion of the deck straight in, parallel to the access ramp. The balance of the application is a FEMA house lift. We did make some significant cutbacks to other portions of the deck to bring everything conforming. On the north side, it was reduced at least 5 feet to bring it closer to the 15-foot setback at 10. And the rear yard setback we're asking for is just for a shower that bumps out 10.7. The balance of the deck is at 13 feet. The variances have been granted, similar precedent throughout Seaview in this particular area. Yeah. Well.
Sure. So, as far as the lot occupancy goes, this is a somewhat complicated thing. Lot occupancy was historically applied on Fire Island. We removed it in Residence BAA. In June of 2010, we felt at the time that FAR had pretty much supplanted it in terms of regulating bulk structures that exist on properties. So it was deemed superfluous, we'll say. The reason that it's coming here, even though it was removed from the code, is that there's a separate section of the Residence BAA code that talks about complying with federal regulations, and there is an open question in the town on whether that would include lot occupancy as regulated by, I believe, Fire Island National Seashore. I don't believe that has been completely resolved yet. Certainly, planning's opinion is that the intention was that we would not be regulating, which is why we removed it from the code. But again, it is an open question whether or not there's a separate section that refers to it that was not properly removed at the time.
Should we seek an opinion from our esteemed zoning board attorney? To my left. I say that to the audience, you're esteemed.
Thank you very much.
Not even paying attention. On his cell phone. Yeah. We're complimenting somebody you know, and you're not paying attention.
Gosh, Dad. It's the town attorney's opinion here that the board should reserve decision in the instant application to seek the legislative intent of the town code section that we are referencing here.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do we want to do that on just that part of the application?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in 28 years of doing this, this is the first time this has ever come up. And
I believe you.
this relates to some politics between me and a certain person at the zoning board.
Not the zoning board, zoning department.
Zoning department, that I waited 3 months to get a denial. So I've wasted 3 months to get a denial, 2 months to come here, and now all our Fire Island projects are going to be in jeopardy because of this ruling. This board, probably about a year ago, laughed the ranger from the Fire Island National Seashore out of this audience because he showed up after 20 years and talked about 35%, and here we are a year later, and it's come up again.
Yeah, but just,
So-
Mr. Graham, just so we're all clear, we have our attorney,
I respect that, Mr. Wexler.
I didn't interrupt you. You know the rules, you've been doing this 28 years.
Yes.
We have an opinion from our attorney. What board would not consider the opinion of their attorney?
I'm just asked that it can be rectified quickly, because otherwise I have a dozen clients that are not going to build their homes this season. And that was I waited 3 months and had to drag in the building commissioner to force to get some denials. So I'm just bringing this up out of frustration.
All right, then I'll take the motion to reserve.
I'll make a motion to reserve.
All in favor?
Thank you. Have a good night.
Application number 355-25, Thomas Lotito, trustee of the Thomas Lotito Revocable Trust. Permission to leave, one-story addition, 16.3 by 19.4, having rear yard of 10.4 feet instead of required 25 feet. Shed having front yard of 3 feet instead of required 27 feet. Pool patio having rear yard of 5.2 feet instead of required 6 feet. Pool equipment having 2 feet behind the front line of the dwelling instead of required 4 feet. And 6-foot fence on property line not having required setback of 10 feet. Residence A District, southeast corner of Grenadier Lane and Alexander Drive, East Islip.
Good evening, members. I'm Thomas Lotito, 45 Grenadier Lane, East Islip, New York.
Good evening, Mr. Lotito.
I'm here because I'm trying to
Feel
get.
free to adjust
Oh.
the microphone.
I'm here. I'm trying to get solar panels from my home, and when we started this application, all these other things came up. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, regarding the addition, it's 10.4 instead of 25 has been brought up. It's quite a substantial request. This property was before the board in 2000 for the pool. From what I can tell at the time on the survey, the addition was not there. It was not addressed at the time. It was not shown in survey, and then approximately 1 or 2 years later, it appears on aerials. So, yeah, it was not built with the benefit of permits. I don't really have much that can help to justify it.
August of 1998. Oh, God. It was built, I believe, in 2000. 2001.
the shed is in a bit of an awkward location. And, well, those two kind of go together. If the fence moved, the shed would have to move, otherwise it would be on the wrong side of the fence. The property is about 13,500 square feet, according to the assessor. I don't think it's listed on the survey, exact dimensions by the surveyor. So the assessor's information is what I have. Oh, does it? I just must have missed that. Close. 13,428. So it does not meet the exception. The exception is currently at 11,250 for, because this is a corner lot, this is the second front yard fence in question here. But yeah, those two would go really together. If the fence was going to move, the shed would have to move with it.
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. Chairman, that we reserve decision and we see what similar grants we have had, so we, if we're going to be ending up chainsawing,
Thank you.
Application number 456-25, Andrew Stein and Rebecca Stein. Permission to establish accessory apartment pursuant to Islip Town Code, Section 68-602, having gross floor area of 1,075 square feet instead of permitted 800 square feet, and to leave driveway onside property line not having required setback of 4 feet. Residence AA District, east side of Aberdeen Road, 80.5 feet north of Warwick Lane, Bay Shore.
Good evening. Norman Locke on behalf of Andrew Stein and Rebecca Stein. Norman Locke, 707 Route 110, Farmingdale, New York. Locke, L-O-K. I would like to start by saying that the owners have requested to remove the items for the accessory apartment from the variance.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we remove
Second.
the application, portion of the application saying permission to establish accessory apartment pursuant to Islip Town Code, Section 68-602, having gross floor area of 1,075 square feet instead of permitted 800 square feet.
Got it, second, yep.
All in favor? Aye. So that part's been removed.
It's pretty easy.
And now you're just here on the
Driveway?
driveway? Any
Which-
questions on the driveway?
No questions.
Planning, any comments on the driveway?
No comment.
Does anyone else would like to be heard in the driveway? I'll take a motion, please.
motion to grant the application as amended.
All in favor? Aye. Application's granted as amended.
Thank you.
Application number 457-25, 239 Higbee LLC. Permission to construct roof line alteration, leaving existing side yard of 3.8 feet instead of required 10 feet, and to leave shed 3 by 6 on-side property line not having a required setback of 10 feet. Business 1 District, southeast corner of Higbee Lane and Paprocki Avenue, West Islip.
And just before it starts, I just want to put on the record that I'm recusing myself from the application.
Mr. White, did you read the
We have no questions.
Well, yeah, I got some. By way of introduction, this is my nephew and my partner, Jaron Fernan. This is the neighbor who would be most affected, Tom Francoeur. He has Towers Flowers, which is directly to the south. And you know our architect, Mr. Dunn, Mike Dunn. Anyway, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm Justin Light. As I mentioned, I'm a partner in a firm, a newly formed firm, Light, Porsche and Fernan. We maintain offices at 239 Higbee Lane in West Islip. I'm also a lifelong resident of the town of Islip. As stated in the public notice in the call to meeting, 239 Higbee is seeking a variance to permit a roofline alteration that would result in a side yard, and actually I don't like the word result, would leave a side yard setback of 3.8 feet where 10 feet is required.
What's existing side yard?
3.8. I would like to clarify that it is not the applicant's intention to retain the shed, the small shed, that's also referenced in the notice. And on behalf of the LLC, we will permanently remove the shed in the near future and can covenant that it will remain removed and not replaced.
All right, so I'll make a motion to remove a portion of the application regarding the shed. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. 239 Higby LLC is a recently formed New York limited liability company owned by my partners, John Porsche and Jaron Fernan. We are appearing before you in connection with a proposed interior and exterior renovation. There will be no expansion of the existing building at the site. By way of background, my partners and I intend to invest significant resources, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to modernize, improve, and beautify the property. We are committed to ensuring the building is brought up to current energy standards and remain in full compliance with applicable.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I am. What is going to change? What are you doing differently that you're here?
We're putting in new windows, nicer windows, brick front. You know, it's going to look architecturally and landscaping is going to be beautiful. And instead of the flat roof, we're putting a raised roof. And it's going to be an attic. There will be no workspace on the second floor.
All right.
Planning, any comments?
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add to that. It's currently a flat roof structure. They're maintaining the existing setback and now pitching the roof, so it was deemed that it needed to come to the board. I would just mention that it's planning's opinion that we would like for these visible properties near residences to have these pitched roof. It fits in better with the aesthetics of the residential nearby, so we would actually consider this to be an improvement.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly now.
Wouldn't say that, it's disrespectful.
Is there anyone else that'd like to be heard in this matter?
Building that looks like this.
Well, I appreciate the comment before about my daughter, but my dad designed and built the building, so.
Oh, there you go.
Good job.
Things are different. He was a lawyer,
They
not
were.
an architect.
It
That's
doesn't
true.
change much, does it?
Any other questions from the board? No, I'll take a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion. We grant the application as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Application is granted as amended.
Good night, everyone.
Application number 458-25, DEAR 2023 LLC. Permission to leave, second-story addition having front yard of 21.4 feet instead of required 25 feet. Business 2 District, southwest corner of Howells Road and North Clinton Avenue, Bay Shore.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board and staff. Douglas Hines, HYNES Design Development Group, Stony Brook, New York. Deere LLC is the successor owner to this property. Two dentists, Hyman Ritter and Bob Stein, have been practicing at this location for many years. Bob Stein is now the sole owner of Deere LLC and the managing member. He's been there for 30 years practicing this building. The second-story addition has been there all that time. It's used for storage. The request for a 3.5-foot variance is modest enough, but it's exacerbated by the fact that there was a road widening on Howells Road. Surveyor calls it out based on various analyses at 2 feet. The taking map itself shows an area of almost 4 feet where it concerns this northeast corner of the second-story structure. So that's our request, that we cure this deficiency and allow the building to be CO'd on the second floor for storage only.
I would just back up what he said. As far as I'm aware, there was, in fact, a road widening here, so, yeah, that, I think it is justified.
Yes, my name's Anthony Splendore. I actually own all the surrounding property around the dentist's office there. Mr. Ritter? I'm sorry, what? SB, as in boy, Lendorio. And it's actually owned by a corporation. It's called Mr. Jack Corp. LLC. All that property around the dentist's office we own, and there's constantly parking on the street there, and they're looking to build. I'm not understanding. They're looking to satisfy their CO. They filed a permit. I don't know, how many years ago? Does anybody know? How many years ago did they file a permit? to put an
1989.
extension on? I don't know that information.
1989.
There was a permit for a second-story addition in 1989. That permit was, in fact, issued but never CO'd.
But they built it anyway.
Correct, they got it issued a permit.
They filed a permit, but never got a CO for it, correct?
Correct, they got issued the permit, but they did not get a CO.
And never got a permit. So now they're looking, they're selling the property to his boss, which I offered to buy the property. But that's why I'm here. I also wanted to buy the lot next door, but we're not talking about that. So now they're looking for a CO. Now, is this going to turn into a medical building that they get the CO, they get the variance now, and then they're going to, and down the line, say, hey, let's take this and make a second-story medical building out of it, which, as far as the parking's concerned, even when I use Dr. Ritter, I've been going there for years. I don't park in his parking lot because it's too small. I park in front of my property, on the other side of the street. And the buses, they come, and I have 2 or 3 buses constantly parked in front of my property, which I have no concern, but they throw the litter out all the time. So my concern is, if we give them their variance, which I don't have a problem with, giving them the variance, but the new owner, is he going to take this and turn it into a medical building? And put an extension, a rental dwelling on it?
So to be clear, you're concerned that they do a full second
Class
story,
2.
or?
It's a Class 2, considered Class 2. Used to be a farmer's stand. All that property was a farmer's stand. And from my understanding, that the dentist's office is a Class 2 commercial piece of property?
Business too.
Business. So are they looking to make this a commercial piece of property, like they're doing across the street where Bill lived?
Sir, we're here just to talk about the front yard variance for an extension. The future plans for the property, you should talk to Mr. Hines or your neighbor, his client. All we're here
Which is
talking about
fine.
tonight is to leave a second-story addition with a 3.5-foot deficient front.
Okay.
Which is de
And
minimis.
the town requires what? If they give them the variance, they're required to put new drainage system in, bushes, anything like that?
No,
They're only asking for 3.5-foot relaxation, that's it.
for a building that's been there for a number of
They
years.
want this, about this much.
Right, but
This much.
they're asking to get their CO approved after 20-some odd year, what'd you say, 89?
It's still a de minimis application.
So it is undergoing further review for the site plan issues that you're talking about, so you're correct. And I believe it will appear before the planning
So-
board to address some of those issues.
My understanding is I'll be notified if they're going to try to build a,
Yes, you will be.
Yeah.
You should be, yes.
You'll also be notified again when they complete the site plan issues that you're talking to.
right.
And the business,
I don't have a problem I like Dr. Ritter, don't get me wrong. It's just that I feel my property value, if this goes, and then because they're going to build a medical building,
That's
from my
another
understanding.
day. Right now, it's not before us.
It's not before us, I understand that.
So we can't.
I know you can't.
To speak
judge
to
on
your
that.
concern, sir, if that were to happen, it most likely would need either further variances
how do
or a
I-
planning board approval, in which case you would be notified at the time.
Okay, so right now, if I have some people who have signed that, saying that, no, if we decline them, what would happen if they got declined?
Sir, it appears that we will be granting the application.
Huh?
We will be granting the application.
But also
You're going to
the
grant
thing
the
is, too,
application?
Yes.
It's already been approved.
no,
We're about to vote on it.
I think
We're about to vote on it.
you're talking about if it were to become larger and become a larger
Correct.
medical building. So that wouldn't be consideration here. That would be a planning board matter because you'd be involving a very significant parking relaxation.
So you referenced the petition in your hand.
So
Do you want
basically,
to submit that?
you're going to grant it to give them the approval.
Make sure he understands it.
On what's currely existing. If they
On
try to
what's
expand it in the
currently
future, that's a separate matter that they'd have to get approvals for separately.
If they want to build a big office building, big medical office building, they're gonna have to buy your property, so.
Well, that's,
Sir, you referenced the petition. Do you want to submit it?
Because what we received today didn't have any other signatures on it.
So you're representing them?
Sir, can you please answer my question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You referenced the petition. Would you like to submit it to us for consideration?
At this time, I'll let it slide. It's, it just, I wanted to,
Okay, that's fine.
Don, let's
Could
take a
I-
motion.
Is anyone else would like to be heard in this? No, all right, I'll take a motion,
Well,
please.
Doug wants to finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna submit it simply because I like Dr. Ritter.
Okay.
If I really wanted to,
Yeah, it's not a great idea to come here and antagonize the dentist.
Yeah,
he's not paying next time.
no.
gonna be out of order.
I'm a nice guy, but I don't wanna see a building built up and then my property value goes down. Okay?
Further draws a defeat, right? We're not selling the property, it's just a nominal transfer to have one dentist in the property. The building will stay exactly the same. Mr. Nicoli is quite correct, and so is Ms. Pissarro, as usual. This building could not be expanded with the existing parking. And I just want to correct one misstatement I made. I'm looking at the floor plan. There is a small bathroom on the second floor, which is otherwise storage only. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you for hearing me.
Could I, Mr. Chairman, could I just ask on a matter of personal privilege, not on the record? I met my newborn great-nephew this morning. His parents advised me he's going to watch this hearing streaming at some point. I just want to wish him a wonderful life. Rowan Umberto Lucas.
God bless. Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys, gentlemen.